Well, hello. We are continuing on with our plan reading series. This is part 7. In this one, I'm just going to be talking about some details and some of these little symbols and what they mean and where to go find, well, the detail and what they're telling you. All right, well, here we have a foundation plan. Now, if you've been watching these videos along with me, this is different than that first foundation plan I showed you. There's no plumbing fixtures on it. This is just kind of, well, the map for all these little details. And in this video, that's what I want to explain, is what a lot of these little symbols are, because this can be kind of confusing when you look at it as a whole. So the first thing I want to point out is this little mark right here. Now, this little target with the two black sides there, it's called a benchmark. You're going to see these things on plans a lot, and typically it's an elevation there. That's what the benchmark is. It's above mean sea level, and if you look, this one says 0 feet, 0 inches. So this is representing the finished floor, which does not have an elevation on it because this house is not built yet. Now, if this was an as-built for like a loan or lot survey, the surveyor would have got you a finished floor elevation there. The next thing is this little arrow here. Now, this is just showing the direction of the slope on this patio, and it's a 1/4 inch per foot of fall there, which is pretty typical. It's so we don't have any water puddling up on that patio, no bird baths. But what we're really here to look at is going to be these guys here with these circles with these numbers in it. And this is going to take you to the detail. This is going to tell you what they want right there. Now, how to read that is that top number is going to be your detail number. The bottom number is going to be your sheet number. There's going to be a lot of detailed drawings per sheet. And here's what that sheet 1.0 looks like. And here is your F11. Now, this is giving us two options for that F11. It's giving us the porch foundation wall and the porch foundation wall with brick. And if you look at it, the brick is not just stuck to the outside of this thing. They actually offset that concrete a little bit so that the brick is sitting in like a ledge. So it is slightly different. Now let's look at another one. Here is F7 and it's on SD 1.0. So we're going to go back to that same sheet, and we're going to look for our F07. And it takes us to this little cross section, which is the porch at the house, 10 inch with brick. And it's showing exactly how they want this built. Now, this one's a little bit different. Let's get zoomed in here. The first thing I want to point out is these walls with the little diagonal hash marks in it and those two arrows pointing to it. This represents your load-bearing walls. The other walls that are just, transparent or there are not load-bearing walls. And I want to point this out too. This is a double 1 3/4 inch by 14 inch LVL. Now, that's a laminated veneer lumber. It's a bunch of little pieces of wood pressed together, glued and pressed together. It's a structural beam. Don't drill through those. If you drill through them, it's got to come out because you damage the structural integrity. But it's this yellow beam that's glued together. They're pretty heavy. So let's see what we got here. A wall section W11. This is going to be on our page 4 for our details. So let's see if we can find where 11 is. There it is over here. Now, this is just a typical load-bearing wall without the uplift. Now, the uplift is what the roof connects to. So, because this is a first floor wall, we're going to have a second floor above it. This is very, very typical of what a load-bearing 2x4 wall looks like. Looks like any other wall, except it's got a midspan blocking between each stud, unless you support it properly until you get the sheetrock in place. But nobody's really going to do that. The framer's going to go ahead and put those blocks in there and be done with it. But like I said, it's a real typical load-bearing 2x4 wall. All right, now this takes us to the second floor, and this shows us a roof plan. Now, if you watch the window video with me, you can see that we have some windows there. So we have some 3050s and some 3040s. And above that, they've got like this 2x6. Now, that represents the header. They want a 2x6 header above that window. As a plumber, stay away from your windows and doors because you never know when they're going to have jacks or they're going to have window headers, and you can't really drill through that. But we're here for this R02, and it's telling me it's going to be on page 6. So here's page 6, lots of roof details. That's what the R stands for. Now, as a plumber, I'm not really going to use this a whole lot. This is really for the lumber people that are sending these rafters, these engineered beams out because they're doing their takeoff. These rafters are built off-site, they're delivered, and then they're assembled by the framer. It's not very often you see framers actually out there building their own truss systems and their own rafters. They typically come on a truck. This is just explaining what these little circles and what these symbols mean on your detailed stuff. A lot of these details get used over and over again. They're basically just kind of copied and paste because it is based off of code, it is structural, and they have to put it on the plans.